Good evening, fellow YouTubers and fellow reloaders and fellow hobbyists. I don't know if fellow is universal, so maybe I should say fella and fellow. So we're going to do some box openings tonight. A couple of things showed up that I think are pretty cool. Actually everything, this is more finding by accident. And these are, as you can see in the background here, my double alpha Primafail that we did the review on last week. And this is another double alpha product that I stumbled upon. Again, I do a lot of stumbling, sometimes before tea, sometimes after tea. And I remember when I was doing my XL 750 build, and one of my desires for improvement was my Lee feeding system, or rather my Lee tubes for my 3D printed lock and load system uses a Lee, whatever this is called, I'll just call it a feeding tray. And it locks into the four case tubes. You fill this up and it kind of fills pretty nicely. Well, with the double alpha, we have 4 tubes for the Lee, and the double alpha has 6 tubes for the 9mm XL 750 load. So that's not going to work. So I was poking around, and lo and behold, double alpha has a mini case feeder loader bowl that also includes an adapter for 223. So supposedly this will work on the double alpha case feeder. Oh, that was just held. Oh, that's interesting. Little spot to hold that in there, and then a little more. Okay, so there's no way to open that without cutting it. So we will cut it. I don't know what this was supposed to take care of. I don't know if that was supposed to keep that clamp. I'm guessing that was supposed to keep that clamp down. But I don't know what's happened to twisty ties. They become the most cheap shit on the planet that are fucking they're worthless. They're not even wire anymore. When I was a kid, they were cloth and wire, and then you'd strip the cloth off and you'd have the wire. And now they're so thin, whatever. It's bull. This is bullshit. For those of you who watch 90 Day Fiancé, you know who that is. This is bullshit. So, this is the bowl I'll be using. And I will attempt to load. So, you put the double alpha on a, right in between two sections. And hopefully this will fit on like a glove. It does, like a glove, so that will fit like that. And I will dump a bunch of, actually it's not going to stay up by itself. So let me get my handy dandy magnet base that you guys have seen from previous videos so that this does not fall. I will once again put this on top, and this is really nice heavy duty. This is cheap and thin and light. This probably is, I mean, I could probably snap that. You can see I can bend this. I can probably bend this a little bit. This is much more heavier duty. This is a nice resin. This is plastic. So this it's got a great texture to it. You can see this is just, again, it does what it's supposed to do, and it's cheap. Cheap in the sense of inexpensive. Cheap not in the sense of functionality. So please don't interpret that as bashing. But this is definitely a better material that will last a whole lot longer. In fact, it's probably, the same Same material as what's on the case feeder. Okay, so, and it fits perfectly snug. So now I have my handy dandy bag of brass range pickups. There's probably many hundreds in here. That's what I do. I pick them up at the range. We pick up what we shoot. There was some gentlemen last weekend that were going to town, which is kind of funny to see all these people at the range shooting up a storm, not realizing that these are 60 cents to sky's the limit, I guess. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take, same thing I do with the Lee when I do 45, is the equivalent of a handful. I'm going to put it in the bowl, and then I'm going to shake this. All right, that was that handful. So let me go ahead and put a bigger handful. All right, so this works great. Sorry for the noise. That's the third handful. So maybe 3 handfuls will do it. Yep, and there's always one that wants to go rogue. And just like the Lee, the last, there's always like a few that don't want to play nice. Oh, maybe because it was a 45 and it was blocking the hole. That will do it. All right, so that is a complete success. Let me see. This one didn't fill up all the way, but again, as compared to having to hand drop each one of these 6 tubes, this thing just plain works, and it was worth the, I want to say it was like 20 bucks. Very comparable to the Lee. I think the Lee's about the same price. All right, so that's, keep that for other shooting. So, and that means that while I was twisting it, yeah, I effed up and I opened that one up. So that's why I've got a bunch of shells in there. So let's fix that by not twisting on the base. So what I'll probably do in the future, is now that this is a different loading system for me, and see what I just did? I just did it again where, so that's the only downside, is having to, this doesn't lock in the middle as nicely as the SoCal S&W solution does. I mean, it works. It does stay there, but as you saw, it's kind of easy for me to twist that around and accidentally get it lined up and then lose a whole column of brass. But I mean, there's not a single upside down case that I'm catching right now, and if I was to have loaded that by hand, I would probably be on the 2nd tube by now, as opposed to loading it fully once, dealing with a whole column of reloading, and then getting it refed. So hella success. This was worth every penny of the cost from Double Alpha. So that's a winner, big time winner. So now what I'm going to do, because I'm not sure that it will fit, is I have my SoCal S&W, and it does not fit when you can see the difference. So it doesn't fit like a glove. But what's interesting is you can get it to line up. And the only reason I'm going to tinker with this is to see if I can get bullets to feed instead of using my homemade ramp. So let me give that a try, but this is a complete success. Absolute, total no question about it, success. So let me get rid of... All right, so that is that. And I will... Winner, total winner, beyond thumbs up. This is a great product. And I don't do 223, but I would imagine that does just as good there. All right, so now let's do a little... So this actually has a very set lock. I mean, that's not moving in between. So it's a very specific set lock that won't have that jar around. I'll bet you there's somebody that could do a 3D printing of this, and it wouldn't be me, to mate to that. I have no doubt whatsoever. But I'm wondering maybe if I just rotate that around, I'm spinning this on the top of this like that. So let me grab some bullets. Where do we have some bullets? Nope. Where, oh where? Nope. You can never find shit when you're looking for shit. Where would I have put those? So, hang on one second. Okay, took a minute. So here's 9mm. I'm just gonna throw a bunch up in here and see what happens. I can tell already. Okay, so that's a no-go. Yeah, those are every which way. A little bit of everything. So, that's a fail. So, I will continue to use my manual solution for loading the S&W, SoCal S&W solution, which has been flawless in both, actually that's my 45, so let me get my 9mm. Hold on. All right, so this is 9mm. I realized that maybe that wasn't the fairest of tests, but I have a funny feeling we're going to see the same thing. So let me again put it on a mixed. Pop the top on, take a handful, take 2 handfuls. And there's always a oh, you fucking fuck. There's always an errant fuck that has to run around. Okay, so that was a failure. For as many that are correct, there are just as many that are wrong. So, somebody needs to invent a manual feeding solution that is better than my wooden feed ramp. All right, that's it for the double alpha mini tube feeder that was an absolute success for case feeding, and that solves one problem, so good stuff.